with Diontae Johnson having some attitude issues on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Today I'm going to be breaking down all the ways that the Pittsburgh Steelers could potentially replace wide receiver Diontae Johnson during the 2024 offseason if they so choose. Before we go down the various different ways that the Steelers can handle this situation here, do me a favor, go down in the comment section right now and let me know. Should the Steelers trade Diontae Johnson this offseason? Simply give me a yes or a no to start today's show. So far this season, Diontae Johnson, 30 catches, 1 touchdown for 55 yards per game. Certainly not stellar numbers, but the Steelers' passing game as a whole has not been great. Diontae right now among Steelers pass catchers is tied for first in points above replacement with Jaylen Warren actually at 8.8 points above replacement. Diontae currently ranks 39th in points above replacement league-wide. So he's certainly not playing like true number one football right now, but he's also playing pretty decently well for how bad the Steelers' passing attack has been here in 2023. You look at his contract breakdown here as we move forward into 2024. If you keep him, the cap hit is $15,800,033 and $334. So that's it's not nothing, right? That's a pretty decent cap hit. But when you compare that to some of the other guys in the league, and we'll compare him to some of the other dudes in this league, that's really not that bad if you take that into account. Also, the dead cap hit, if he's traded, you're still going to have to pay 5.8 of that. And then also, if he's traded, you only get $10 million in cap savings, guys. So really, you would have to find the right deal if Diontae Johnson is going to be traded this offseason. And you need to get the same or more value, in my opinion, in terms of who you're trading him away for, right? If you're drafting a wide receiver, you have to be pretty damn sure that he is going to be just as good, if not better, than Diontae Johnson pretty much right away, because this Steelers team is built to win now. This defense is great now. You got George Pickens now. You've got both Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris now, right? You don't want to get rid of him for a rookie that's going to develop 3-4 years down the line, right? So if you're going to replace Diontae Johnson, you have to be pretty darn sure that his replacement is going to be just as valuable or more valuable moving forward into the 2024 season, and at a value here because you only save $10 million. Now, coming up here, I'm going to be going over the top Diontae Johnson replacement options for the Pittsburgh Steelers, trade, free agency, and draft here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Factor Meals. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and all the shopping and the prepping and the cleaning up as well, while still getting all the flavor and nutritional quality that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat up and enjoy. This holiday season, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered straight to your door, ready in just 2 minutes without the prep and without the mess. Head on over to factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 and use our code SteelersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code SteelersChat50 at factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 to get 50% off Factor Meals today. So now let's talk about potentially the best replacement for Diontae Johnson that could reasonably be got by the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason, which is wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Tennessee Titans. And man, this one's intriguing to me because DeAndre is a very affordable option on the trade market that could potentially want out of Tennessee here during the offseason. So you take a look at DeAndre Hopkins' situation here. I think that D-Hop's actually played a really good season this year. His Pro Football Focus grade is at almost an 80, despite some of the worst quarterback play in the National Football League. He's currently ranking 21st among 122 eligible NFL wide receivers. And with just 1 year left on his contract, he's due for a cap hit of just over $8 million if he's traded. He did sign quite a bit of a signing bonus with the Tennessee Titans, so they would still be on the hook for quite a bit of his contract here. And this is a very affordable option for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's not pretend that DeAndre Hopkins isn't still a legitimate number one type receiver in this league. This year, to this point, 45 catches for nearly 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's getting more yards per game than Diontae Johnson at this point. And you take a look at his numbers in previous seasons, it's been pretty darn good. Has been kind of dealing with suspensions and injuries over the last couple of seasons. But overall, man, this is one of the best wide receivers overall in the National Football League. Still has great body control, great hands, still a really good route runner, and he's better after the catch than people give him credit for. You put DeAndre Hopkins on the other side of George Pickens and then Pat Freiermuth in the middle. All I have to say to that, man, is good luck covering all three of those guys there on the outside and then in the middle. You could probably get DeAndre, in my opinion, if you just straight up swap him for Diontae Johnson, but because the Titans are taking on a larger contract, Diontae Johnson's cap hit is nearly double next season than what DeAndre Hopkins is. They'd probably want another draft pick here, so you can give them a day 3 pick, a 6th-round pick, throwaway pick here, and you get DeAndre Hopkins as your new running mate here with George Pickens. I think that would be absolutely electric. But let me know down there in the comments section, would you accept this trade to bring DeAndre Hopkins to the Steel City and replace Diontae Johnson? Type A if you're going to accept, or type D if you're going to decline. This is also the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of today's of that time by answering today's pinned question. So now that we've got over the trade idea that I had, let's go over the free agency options here. And I definitely think there's less options that excite me in this category, because in order for this to really happen is that you're going to have to find an affordable wide receiver that's probably going to cost less than $10 million in order to really make it financially make sense for you. And also, you're going to have to find a guy that's just as productive as Diontae Johnson, which is going to be pretty tough at a $10 million budget range. So some of the guys that could potentially be got, Darnell Mooney, I mean, I think he's worth more than $10 million. Tyler Boyd is probably going to make more than $10 million as well, but maybe you can get a discount on him. Kendrick Bourne, somebody that's been a very solid wide receiver throughout his time with New England, could be an option to replace Diontae. Marquise Hollywood-Brown, another guy that's played the Z spot in his career, but he has a drop issue. And then Van Jefferson, no longer with the Rams, actually. He's with the Cardinals. So not sure why we got the Rams logo back there. F Coop in the chat there for that one. And he says F the Rams. But anyway, man, I just don't love any of these options, to be honest with you. And I really don't see the Steelers replacing Diontae in free agency. I really think that if they're going to replace Diontae Johnson this offseason, it's going to be either via trade and get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be legitimately have a possibility to be better than Diontae Johnson, or they're going to go into the draft. So that's the last option here, is you could go into the 2024 NFL draft. Say you trade Diontae Johnson for a second-round pick, and you could go out and get one of the top wide receiver prospects in this year's draft class. It's a loaded draft class. Now, before we get things going here, I do want to go over some of the less likely options here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunze. These guys are going to be probably top 15 picks. The Steelers are not going to be, or at least most likely, they're not going to be drafting within the top 15. But there's definitely a lot of really good wide receiver talent that could be had in the late first or second and even early third round this year that could absolutely replace Diontae Johnson for the future. You look at some of the biggest names here. You got Keon Coleman from Florida State sitting at 6'4", 215. Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State's another big name that could be got. I think Egbuka is actually a really good scheme fit for what the Steelers would need in a Diontae Johnson replacement. Can play that Z position, is a good route runner, technician, all those good things. Then you got the two Texas boys, Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. Coop is celebrating in the background. He wants us to go get those guys. And then you also got Xavier Legette from the University of South Carolina, currently ranked 32nd on Pro Football Focus's big board. So you see all those ranks down there. The PFF rank is on the Pro Football Focus big board right now. So before I go over the rest of the wide receiver options in the draft, make sure you click that like button right now. Click that thumbs up icon to help out the channel right here on Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. So make sure you click that thumbs up icon and help out today's show. So it really doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to replace Diontae Johnson. So at the end of all this, we can talk about trading for a receiver, and I'd be open to that, by the way. We can talk about getting another free agent. We can talk about replacing him in the draft. But overall, I just don't think the Steelers are going to do this. And unless something crazy happens and the Steelers are forced to trade him, I really don't think that they're going to, because financially, you're in a pretty good spot with Diontae Johnson, okay? You're only going to be paying him next season $15.83 million, okay? Like, you look at some of the guys at the top of the market right now, like Tyreek Hill, top of market for wide receivers right now is $30 million. For a guy like Diontae Johnson, one of the best route runners in the National Football League, is a former number one receiver in this league as a Robin to George Pickens' Batman for just $15.83 million. That's a pretty good steal. And if you trade him away, I think it's going to be really, really tough to find a replacement right away that's going to be just as good, if not better. Right now, the Steelers are trying to win. They're trying to put the best possible players on the field to help them win a Super Bowl as fast as possible. Diontae Johnson does that. So I really don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be trading Diontae Johnson this offseason. And honestly, if I'm Omar Khan, I'm probably not planning on doing it. So don't expect him to get replaced. Don't go into this offseason with high expectations that they're going to draft him or that they're going to trade him. I know that he's had an attitude issue, okay? I've been the first one to say, you know, if you see the ball on the ground, first of all, go try to get it. And then also, if you see someone pick it up, go freaking tackle him, all right? I get all those objections on Diontae Johnson. But the guy is super talented. He gets open all the time. He's a great third down safety blanket for Kenny Pickett. And he's somebody that can help the Steelers win. So unless something completely crazy happens and the Steelers are forced to trade him this offseason, which I see as unlikely, expect Diontae Johnson to be a Pittsburgh Steeler at the start of the 2024 season. All right, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video and you want more Steelers news and rumors content all around the clock, 24/7, 365. We got you covered here. We got breaking news coverage every time the Steelers make a move, when they hire a new offensive coordinator. We're going to be right here breaking it all down with you guys. Also, the free agency, NFL free agency, and the 2024 NFL draft are right around the corner as well. During the offseason, we're going to have videos breaking down free agency and the draft just about every single day. So if you want in-depth coverage on the draft and free agency, this is going to be the place for you. And then also, we got weekly live shows. We got one on Wednesday, and then we also have watch parties for every single Steelers game. So if you want to join the most interactive Steelers YouTube community here, make sure you click that subscribe button. It is all 100% free. Join our family and help us get to 40,000 subscribers.